T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, contact. Hydrogen has arrived. Pilot proceeding to mark location. Mission protocol. Redefine. Hydrogen era initiated. This is racing's new frontier.
The future has landed. This is the FIA Extreme H World Cup. These state-of-the-art hydrogen race cars will go head-to-head over 3 days, competing in 3 disciplines. This pioneering new concept brings futuristic technologies to the forefront, being the first motorsport competition to be powered by hydrogen. Taking place in Qiddiya City, which is entirely built for play, where entertainment, sport and culture converge, creating the ultimate racing location. This is how the FIA Extreme H World Cup works.
The FIA Extreme H World Cup is the ultimate off-road challenge. Consisting of 3 disciplines, the team's mission is to earn points to gain the best grid position for the World Cup final. Day 1, time trial. Each team races twice with a combined time, the fastest driver pairing earning the maximum World Cup qualifying points. Day 2, head-to-head. This brand new format sees teams race side by side on the ultimate off-road drag track. It kicks off with heats, progressing through to the semi-finals before culminating in the head-to-head final, where the winner accumulates the most World Cup qualifying points. Day 3 is multi-car racing. The morning session will be the last chance for qualifying points in the 4-car races. The team with the most qualifying points takes pole position in the World Cup final. Then it's a winner-takes-all dash to the finish line. This is the FIA Extreme H World Cup.
Right, let's take a look then at the entries for the FIA Extreme H World Cup. This is the qualifying. Christopherson Motorsport, of course, winners in our final weekend of Extreme E. Then we have JBX, Christine GZ and Tommy Hullman. Ray Ledbetter up alongside Fraser McConnell, Andrew Hurley.
Yeah, good pairing there, isn't it? Elias Sands has gone off to do Dakar preparation. Team start with Patrick O'Donovan and Amanda Sorensen, Carl Cox Motorsport, Timo Scheider and Clara Anderson.
And then we've got Molly Taylor and Kevin Hansen for Jamil Motorsport. We've got Andreas Backward and Katie Munnings for Team Hansen. We're just about getting used to that one. And OC Baby and Hedda Hossas for Team Even.
What a fantastic lineup. Look at that. Head-to-head for Extreme H. It's going to be amazing, Laura.
It's going to be fantastic, isn't it? Let's then take a look. Let's get into it. This is the FIA Extreme H World Cup.
First ever time on track for the Extreme H machines, and up first was JBX, Tommy Howman and Christine GZ. Howman was in absolutely full send mode into the switch zone. GZ took over. Unfortunately, she managed to tap one of the chevrons on the way round, so they picked up a 5-second penalty. A real shame for them, as it was an incredible time. Carl Cox Motorsport up next. Clara Anderson and Timo Scheider still getting their heads around the car. Scheider in for the second half of the stint, with Anderson helping on the belts. Into this left-hander, you can see clearly how much better the car is than the XE car in those big bumps. That was where we saw all the bicycle moments. They didn't down the flag either. KMS were up third and they went fastest. Brilliant time by Arlen Kotlinski and Johan Kristoffersen to go to the top of the table, where they're used to being. Of course, did anybody depose them through the rest of the runs. Up fourth, Team Hansen, Andreas Backward and Katie Munnings. They were up at some points around the circuit, 0.72 as you can see just here. Live valve doing the work for the Fox suspension. Incredible bit of kit, this Extreme H car. And a brilliant time by the Hansen squad. They moved themselves up into P2. Very close indeed to that top time of KMS. They would not, however, be there for long, because Jamil Motorsport were out with Molly Taylor and Kevin Hansen. It was incredibly close between these top 3 teams. Full set mode again for Kevin Hansen. Look at those inputs behind the wheel, up and over the crest, and at the finish line they got up into P2. Not enough for KMS, but enough to demote Hansen down to third. Zeroid Motorsport problems for Fraser McConnell. Big frustration for him and Gray Ledbetter. The suspension sensors meant that the power was cut. problems also for start, rear motor failure. Look at Amanda Sorensen trying to scrabble up the hill, frantically making adjustments, anything she could to try and get the car to work, but it wasn't to be, and they lost a lot of time. Finally out on track, it was Team Even Hedda Hozos trying to get the chair back here. She did a good first lap. They managed to get out in time at the end of that session, but they go P4. So KMS win the first session, followed by Jamil Motorsport, Hansen and Even. Look at that though, 6 cars within 5 seconds.
You've got new cars, we've got new formats that we're doing with Extreme H that we've never done before, so I think you just have to adapt as fast as possible. We're just going to be adapting to a lot more things in a shorter space of time, so it's just going to, I think, ramp that up a lot.
It's been really hard for me getting back in rhythm because I haven't driven in a while, so just being here, it's awesome, and I will put as much work as it needed and effort to get back up there.
As a driver, it's always really interesting to jump into a new championship, new car, Extreme H, hydrogen car. We have never seen a hydrogen vehicle being authorized in motorsport on a high level. Hopefully we can have a good start, feel safe, and then start pushing from there.
One solution for future sustainability is not the key. You need several ways forward: sustainable fuels, electric cars, hybrid cars, hydrogen cars, of course, which is the next new technology in the world. So that is really the goal with Extreme H.
I think the new car, actually, I predict that the competition will be closer, so the details will come to make more difference than previously. So well, yeah, looking forward.
This is the Pioneer 25, the cutting-edge race car at the heart of Extreme H, the world's first hydrogen-powered motorsport. Building on the legacy of Extreme E's Odyssey 21, this next-generation machine takes performance, efficiency and innovation to the next level. At its core, 2 25-litre hydrogen tanks feed the Symbio fuel cell, generating electricity that's stored in a high-performance battery. Together, they deliver up to 400 kilowatts of power, more than enough to push the Pioneer 25 to the limits. Suspension is critical in off-road racing, and Fox have developed a fully bespoke system for Extreme H. With integrated live valve tech, drivers can adjust suspension settings on the fly, directly from the cockpit, to respond to changing terrain or driving style. Inside the cockpit, everything is engineered for adaptability. The steering column, belts and pedals are fully adjustable, making it possible for both drivers to fine-tune their perfect driving position. Because in Extreme H, gender equality is built into the design. A suite of customizable settings on the dashboard lets drivers optimize car setup mid-race. 2 digital displays replace traditional wing mirrors, giving a clear view of the action behind. And a brand new safety cell has been introduced to enhance driver protection in high-impact scenarios. The result? A machine that's faster, greener, and ready to deliver a whole new era of racing.
Well, what an incredible backdrop to go racing at. This is a look at the course, which of course hosted Extreme E last weekend and now hosts the first ever FIA Extreme H World Cup. That turn 1 where we saw all the carnage, then the section of jumps. This is a new turn up at flag number 7, which is much faster, and Laura, we're really going to be able to stretch the legs of these brand new machines.
And you're really seeing the angles, the entries, the exits here, the ascents, the descents right there over that big jump these drivers are having to contend with here.
Here's the super steep climb with the chevrons, which is badly cut up as well by the time they get around there with all the cars out on track. And then, of course, the run down to the finish, the left and the right. Switch zone on the left here before they fling it over the finish line to try and pick up the big trophy at the end of the weekend.
What an epic course.
Epic place as well. Now, of course, this is where Qiddiya City is being built. Laura, you're going to be back here with Formula One because they're building this incredible track, taking inspiration from some of the best F1 venues in the world, and this incredible, the Blade in turn 1.
You almost can't believe it, can you? It's going to be absolutely extraordinary. Look at that. Imagine driving up that. Imagine standing on the grid.
I genuinely can't wait. Concert venue underneath turn 1. This, of course, is the venue for the World Cup, which is in 2034. And they're also building an incredible array of golf courses around underneath the Tuwaiq Mountains, which are in the backdrop. There they are, Fire Springer as well. Absolutely stunning, world-class sports facilities. And we, as Extreme E and Extreme H, honoured to be here as the first activation for Qiddiya City. What a track, look at this, putting on a show before they've built anything.
Yeah, not just sport, play, entertainment, culture, all converging to show Qiddiya City at its very, very best. And what a privilege, as you say, Andrew, to be here right at the very start, racing with Extreme E, and now Extreme H, a new frontier.
The afternoon session of the time trial was run in reverse order of the morning's results, so those who had problems were up first. Starred with 2 operational motors much quicker. Amanda Sorensen in the car first of all, then Patrick O'Donovan, the 24 European Rallycross champion, chasing down, of course, a previous championship driver. Great run by them. On to Zeroid. Gray Ledbetter in the car first of all, but watch this, on the way into the switch zone, she's all locked up. Looked like she gained time. Unfortunately, she broke the speed limit, and they were slapped with a penalty after the run, despite, again, going very quickly. JBX Tommy Howman with a huge push on his run at the start. Chevron's almost getting knocked down, but not quite. And then he came in and handed over to Christine GZ, who did a fantastic job as well to hold on. With the penalties applied to the other teams, that would mean that JBX were the top of the runners so far.
Right, here we go then, our 4th car of 8 to go in run 2 on the day 1 of the Extreme H World Cup. A brand new format, and this is the time trial. Clara Anderson at the wheel. She'll hand over to Timo Scheider after 1 lap here. And it's fastest time of the day, cumulatively, that will win the day and get those all-important points.
Now, at the minute, they were, after the first run, just 3.6 seconds off the lead. Remember, both runs added together. Currently, JBX lead from Starred and Zeroid. Zeroid got a drive-through penalty in the, they drove through the switch zone too fast, so it's kind of the same thing, and they get a penalty for breaking the speed limit in there. But Anderson and Scheider, the first session, Laura, we figured out, if people hadn't had issues, all 8 cars would have been within 5 seconds. So we are working in tenths here, and you've got to get it done if you want to be at the top of that table.
5 seconds over an almost 6-minute effort. It is mighty tight here. Finest of margins matter. Keeping it clean matters. We've seen penalties have cost teams like Zeroid Motorsport, like JBX this morning. They're currently the benchmark. Keep your eye on the right-hand side of the screen as you look at it. That grey box indicates that at the moment Clara Anderson is down on the time of Tommy Howman in that JBX machine by just over a second. It's just gone out there. She went a little wide at the apex.
Yeah, Howman was on an absolute mission, as is Clara. As you say, yeah, maybe a couple of feet at the apex, but we say we're working in tenths. I was talking to the drivers about it. I can't remember who it was. I saw they were frustrated they'd run wide in, oh, it was Heather. She'd run wide in the 1 corner, and she's like, but that's the margin. You know, it is that tight between us. So they're going to have to keep it tidy, going to have to keep it committed. Worth taking into account these ruts as the session goes on. Remember, it's fastest last. So we'll get right to the end of the session before we know who's going to win. They're going to get the worst track conditions. That's fine. You know, it was always that chevron. Did the chevron go down?
We may have had a tap of the chevron. That is a 5-second penalty if that did go down. Earlier on, Timo Scheider was flirting with a gate, wasn't he? Almost knocked it over, but it just about stayed up. That was through O'Donovan corner. Clara then over that chevron section, technical and challenging, and now coming round here up toward the switch zone to hand over to Timo Scheider. She is 1.6 seconds up, not up, but over the time set by Tommy Howman. Timo Scheider
late on the brakes. That was really good, Laura. And look at the time she's made up. Plus 1.95 by being ultra late on the brakes, unless she crossed that line too fast. We'll keep an eye on our timing screen because that'll tell us straight away if there's any penalties to be given out. But that was mega. What's that? 3.3 seconds made up on the brakes. Was it too late or was it bang on?
We'll see. On chevron watch for you.
Yes.
Still standing.
Still standing.
Chevron still
watch,
standing.
Still standing.
Yeah. So no penalty at the moment.
We have a secret person, don't we, in race control that can let us know from the cameras whether the chevron's still up or not. Scheider runs out, the car comes up. Clara takes the belts off and hooks them up over the seat, throws herself out through the seat aperture. And now Timo Scheider's got to get in. He pulls out her insert. They throw that out. I love seeing this, and you can see they're releasing those shoulder belts. Now Clara helps him get the shoulder belts on.
They have a system, don't they?
Yep.
Every single person involved in the switch, and there's not many in there. Slight issue there maybe for the belts, just making sure that they get that nice and tight, of course, vital for safety here, and getting everything connected.
And it has to be done, Laura. Everything has to be done. If the cameras spot, so if the FIA, or not even the FIA, if Extreme H can see the belts aren't done up, the helmet isn't done up, the hands device isn't in place, he did tap it, but it didn't go down. And also the communications lead, it must be in. They can't do any of it on the way in or out, because you'd think, wouldn't you? Oh, was it late on the way in? It was all locked up on the way in. We'll see. Right, Scheider away then. At the minute, they're 1.95 seconds up after Clara came in ultra hot on the brakes. Scheider's about to launch it and go for lap 2. Yeah, I can hear the noise as well in the background. It might just be the transmission at low speed.
Just gesticulating to
yeah, we
Andrew
make
Curley
a lot of hand
hang on a
signs
minute.
here. What's that? Tap, tap on the old
sounds a
headphone.
bit better now, doesn't it? That's more like it for Timo Scheider, who unleashes the Carl Cox machine into his run here. Now, earlier on today, as we mentioned, they were 5th overall with a 5:46.652. Can they go better than that? Can they catch the benchmark by JBX, powered by Team Monaco? Catching is what you see on your screen right now. Green is good, grey not so good, purple is what they want to see. That means they're the best of the day.
It is quick through that right-hander now, Laura, where they took the chicane out from the Extreme E weekend. You're really pitching the car and it goes light, and then we've got a sequence here where it goes light again, drop off, he's 400ths up. It is super close, now 1600. Scheider into the left-hander, he's tied, he's right on the apex, 2900ths up. You've got to have the accuracy and the commitment the whole way around both laps to get this done.
The time eking out, he's just making incremental gains through every entry, apex, exit here on this course. 1400ths now the gap, now 7/10ths the gap. Timo Scheider putting the Carl Cox machine in the driving position.
Up a second now, so he's good at the hairpin. The brakes and the rotation on him were good at the hairpin. They were in P5. He couldn't get any closer than that. Up there's the chevron on the left. Chevron's been knocked on the left, I reckon. That might be a bit more open, so more time maybe to be gained there. 0.96. It's literally 4 or 5 thousandths in each little bit. And there, 4 tenths there. So there are certain areas where the previous teams haven't maximised, and if you can take advantage of it, you can get it done.
Yeah, Timo Scheider then, 1.36 seconds up, 1.28. Keep your eye on that time. That's what's going to count here to make sure that they get over the line, the best of the rest so far in this session. Eyes on, coming around this final gate 23. 1.6 is the gap over the line, and 1.71 quicker than we have seen so far in this session. High fives all round for the Carl Cox Motorsport team. Clara Anderson will be delighted. Well done, Timo Scheider. What a run by Carl Cox Motorsport, fastest so far.
Well, great stuff so far in this session. Then we've got 4 cars still to come. As you can see, Howman and Christine GZ lead at the minute. 11:32.1 is their cumulative time. That's from this morning and this afternoon. Look how close Clara Anderson, Timo Scheider are just 2.13 back from Carl Cox Motorsport. Zero Motorsport plus 5.06. And then Sorensen and O'Donovan 55.03 back after a part failed on their first run. And the Star team did a brilliant job to get that repaired in time. I'm glad to say I'm joined in the commentary box now by Patrick O'Donovan. Patrick, rough start to your session, obviously, there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could have been a better start to the session, of course. We had a small bit of a part failure in the first set of sessions cars gone out there, and of course, I mean, it wasn't due to start and it wasn't their fault, and the team have worked tirelessly and very hard to get out for this run. So yeah, of course, not our fault, but hey, that's motorsport. Sometimes it's unpredictable.
Absolutely, absolutely. Drone is up, as you can see, bottom left. If you picture the marshals are leaving now. We've got Team Even coming up, who were P4 after the first run. Their time was 5:45.8, so they were some 2.8 seconds back. We've got about 8 timing screens on in the commentary box here. Patrick's going to stay with us, and Clara Anderson is going to join us soon as well as we run through these final 4 cars. Here are the current leaders, Tommy Howman and Christine GZ in the command centre. Thumbs up from Tommy and from Christine as well. 20 seconds until we get the car launched away. So drivers taking the same order as they did this morning. Header Hozos up first, and there is OC Baby, who'll be taking over. OC, thumbs up from him as well. Great stuff. Here we go then. Run number 5, session number 2, time trial, day 1 of the FIA Extreme H World Cup. And the idea here is to go as fast as you can, add up all those laps from the morning and the afternoon, and then the winners will get 10 World Cup qualifying points, down to 3 for the car in P8. Add up those points over the next couple of days. You've got side-by-side head-to-head racing tomorrow, and then proper 4-car racing in qualifying through to the finals on Saturday. So all of the qualifying then will have points as well. Patrick, first part of the lap here, we've got those jumps. These are flat in this car. How does it compare compared to the Extreme E car?
I mean, this car, of course, is the next step. It's the next evolution, and Fox have done an absolutely amazing job bringing some upgrades on the suspension. I mean, the car flies and jumps and lands way better than its predecessor, so it's a pretty cool car to take through this first section.
This section here, which Laura Winter has kindly named O'Donovan Corner, this is the one where we've seen actually a few people have been able to lean both on the outside of the car, but hook a wheel on the bank as well, and that would have put the E-car on its roof immediately. But this car, you seem more able to get away with running the inside wheel across the berms.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I made a slight mistake coming down that hill. I was just a little bit too wide. I've been trying to open that corner up as much as I can, and I hit the dust and I opened it up a bit too much. But no, definitely. I mean, the E-car, as I saw and found out a few days ago, the second you touch that, it just wanted to spit you over. But this new car built by Spark has a much lower centre of gravity, so we're finding it takes a lot more to try and get up on 2 wheels. But I'm hoping I don't get any closer to the limit.
Heather Hozos 2.34 seconds up at this moment. She's doing a great job here. I've been really impressed this weekend with her performance. Just seems, I think everybody has, much happier in the car, much more comfortable. I went and saw Fox. I'm going to have to get geeky for a minute. Those dampers are epic with all the bypass valves like on the side of them. They've got, have you seen the dampers that are cut in half so you can look through the middle of them?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, you can physically see how it's working on the inside,
yes,
which is not something you usually are able to do with any car part.
And having someone try to explain it to you, the bypass valves is super hard, but when you've got one there you can hold in your hand. And so, yeah, I went and had a good, like, proper geek 20-minute chat with them. I loved it. Into the switch zone there. So Hozos is late on the brakes, but 4.3. She's lost quite a lot of time in that last sector.
Yeah, I think that last sector there's a lot of dust, and especially there's been some carried dust in the wind all day, so you know, the line is constantly shifting there, and if you get hooked into a little bit of a bad rut through 19, it can just spit you out and really make it a challenging little sector there.
So they're 4.3 back at the moment. That's on the lead time of JBX. We do have an accumulative time as well overall, which we'll be able to bring the update for at the end of the session. So the timing you're seeing on screen is for this session. We've got another timing screen in commentary where we can give you a bit of an update. Driver change, how are you finding it compared to the E-car? Obviously the E-car, you're closer to the door, but it's smack in the middle here.
I actually prefer it, you know. I used to really struggle, for whatever reason that I can't wrap my head around. I used to struggle massively to get out of the E-car. I used to just like fall out of it and then have to collect myself on the ground and get back up. Whereas this, I feel like I have enough room to step out the side of it.
I mean, it's hard to look graceful getting in and out of any competition car, isn't it? But when it's 2 feet off the ground as well, it's a long way down.
It definitely is. But no, I like this one. I've got a few cuts on my arms from where I've been doing the practice, trying to get in and out, you know, as fast as you can. But we found, I think, the quickest way to do it is just to take your time and be a little bit slower with it.
We've got 5 seconds extra as well, which makes a big difference. So how much have you played around with the damper settings? Because you've got these 5 settings, haven't you, and the live valve. Have you had much of a go with it yet or not? It doesn't matter either way.
Yeah, we've been trying to have a little go, trying to see what we can do, but of course our time on track is super limited,
running,
so
yeah,
you don't want to try anything that's really going to put you at a bit of a disadvantage or give you some negative or false feedback, something that you can't trust. So within reason, yeah. I can't talk too much about it though, of course, Andrew.
No, I understand, mate. Don't want to give away the secrets. I always remember when we've had various different commentators in the commentary box. It was Pastrana at one point at an event, and he was sitting there looking at the screen. He goes, that's what they're doing on the launch. Looked at the dashboard and realised what they were up to. OC Baby in OC Baby style pitches it into the first corner. We have seen people using the steering lock a bit more open through there to try and carry more pace. Flies over the first jump, and then the second jump coming up too. You can hear a slight vibration in the car, and if you guys can hear that at home or not, Baby full focus mode, look.
Yeah, I don't know, that might be the generator from the hydrogen charge in the battery, but I can't quite work out that. What could that possibly be? Maybe
it's all new for everyone, isn't it, at the minute? How do you feel about the hydrogen car? It's mad, isn't it, the technology?
It is mad. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself the smartest person in every room I walk into, but I'm certainly not that slow. But I mean, I'm struggling to get my head around all of it, to be honest.
Yeah, there's some techers on there. This is going up and down by a second, 1.6 seconds. So I don't know if Vaby's compromising his entries and getting better exits or vice versa. There are the live valve settings, soft, neutral, connected, etc. So you can go more and more hardcore. So briefly, what it does, these cars don't run anti-roll bars, which stop the car rolling left and right in the corners. The damper on the outside, when you turn in, will stiffen up, and the damper on the inside stiffens up the rebound. So one side stiffens up the compression, which is as the damper goes in. The other side stiffens up the rebound to hold it flat. Even better than that, when it goes on the brakes, it monitors how hard you're braking and stiffens up the front and then stiffens the rear rebound to keep it flat there as well. It is so clever. So big shout out to Fox. Went to see all the guys, I say, and I was stoked. If you're not a geek, sorry about the last minute. There we go. Half a second down for OC Vaby, trying to chase down the time of JBX. JBX had that brilliant first run, didn't quite get it with the 5-second penalty they got. Can they hold on this time round? 500's in it. 500's the other way as he comes to the line. He might just take this. 900ths of a second. Team even moved to the top of the leaderboard by, and overall they are on 11 minutes 30.1. So they're some 2 seconds up the road from JBX. Great job by them. Hozes and Vaby then at the top, 11 minutes 30.109, 2 seconds back for JBX. And look, we can see 7 seconds covering the top three. 3 cars still to come. And Team Even are heading off the track and back towards the paddock. Good job then by OC Vaby and Header Hozos. They top the leaderboard, but we've still got KMS, Jamil and Hansen to come. At the end, I mean, they only took the 700ths. When you add the two together, it puts the two up.
Yeah, of course. I mean, looking at my timing there, I was struggling in myself in Sector 3 and Sector 4, so it's interesting to see Vaby coming through there. You know, he was nearly a second faster than me in Sector 3, and again, a good bit quicker than me in Sector 4. So
I love the fact you're looking at this. So what's your immediate analysis as a driver when you look at that? I know you want to do what he's doing, find the time. Where's he doing it? Do you think?
So I think I was trying to be too neat and tidy coming into waypoint 19. So that
Which
last
one's 19?
that's the hairpin, the double apex hairpin after you come down the big drop from 17. So coming into there, I was a bit too cautious. I wasn't really sending it, and I gave myself a pretty poor line on the exit. And then I was like, inside the car, I knew I'd made a mistake. Coming up to the last 2 corners, I then tried to compensate, I think, and I was a little bit too sideways. So watching him, it's super interesting. He did it the opposite way. It looked like he was super aggressive into 19, got the rotation done, got a lovely exit, and then he was super neat and tidy and on the nose for the last 2 corners.
So so gets the good traction. So basically, maybe in the tight corners, get the rotation done early. In the more open corners, drive it on the nose.
Yeah.
He drove it on the nose big time in the first session. Down at the bottom, the O'Donovan corner, just turned it in and drove it on the nose the whole way through, carried a lot of speed. But everybody's learning these cars. How many laps have you had in it?
Oh, you've caught me off guard there. I'd say no more than 7 or 8 maximum, maybe even 6.
Clara Anderson nodding in the commentary box as well. We'll get Clara on in a minute. Our next car is getting ready to go. Visor down and ready for launch. Is it Katie first?
That's Andreas.
I think it might be Andreas in the car. Yes, it is. Andreas Backer in the car. Okay, we're getting ourselves ready for the third to last car. Andreas Backred at the wheel of the Team Hansen machine. Wasn't sure it was until he briefly pulled the visor up. Full focus. The sun gets a little bit lower this time of day. It is incredibly bright here in Saudi Arabia, racing at Qiddiya City. Backward focusing on those lights. You see the drone shadow flying in. Look, some wonderful shots here in the background. Faisal's finger and the Tuwaiq cliffs as well. The mountains in the background and away from the line down towards the first corner. Let's see what he does through turn 1. Patrick, talk us through the first couple of corners in terms of technique.
So, I mean, coming into here, he's carrying as much speed as he can. He's trying to have a bit of a wider entry so that he can clip the last little sector. I think it's waypoint 2, so he can carry as much speed as he can. Of course, coming up to the jumps, he's going to try and stay left over the first jump, left over the second jump to open up his entrance into waypoint 7. yeah, I mean, you can just see there, he's trying to and do that, and it's almost flat. We were having a conversation earlier, actually, Andreas and I, about how he was like, and you're coming through there flat. Well, actually, it's not. It's almost flat, isn't it?
The right-hander,
that little right-hander
so
there.
That's the part of the track they changed, isn't it, from Extreme E? So Extreme E, you went out to a tight left and right there, and now it's almost a flat, but it's not quite.
No, it can be quite a bit of a sketchy point on the track, actually. Oh, big sideways moment there for Andreas. Just went wide, he's clipped the wall. I don't think it's too bad, actually. He's got enough power, nice recovery. But, yeah, no, it's super difficult to try and find where the limit is, as you can see Andreas just found out there. But, no, we were talking about it, and, I mean, I think a lot of the drivers are trying to do the same thing and trying to achieve the same result. We all come from similar backgrounds within sport, so our driving styles, although differentiate massively, I think sometimes there's a lot of crossover, a lot of similarities. But Andreas is absolutely sending it on this.
Yeah, the ruts on the entry there, you can see Andreas actually put the front wheels in those, and sometimes its rear wheels go in, and then that can end up railroading into a part of the track you don't want to be on. He's 0.92 of a second up on this second run. Remember, they were third after the first run. They were only 1.0 off KMS at the top of the table. So he's going to be absolutely desperate to take as much time as he possibly can, and then hope, obviously, that Katie Munnings does the same. Kate will be waiting in the switch zone for it. Go on, Patrick, what do you see?
It really just looks like he's fighting the car everywhere. He's making 5 to 10 steering inputs in every single corner. So maybe I don't know, he might not be the happiest with the suspension or the geometry of how the car's set up. But yeah, a lot of inputs there.
Late on the brakes. Oh, it's funny though, is it? So much of its driver style. Like if you watch Carlos Sainz back in the day in rally, loads of inputs, tons and tons of inputs to the car, and you just see those different styles. 0.79 up as they come in. So at the moment, they would go to the top of the table. Cumulative time 7:42.6 as he comes in. Here's a little replay of the run up. I think this was to the flick up the hill, was it? Yes, it was. He was quick through there, I thought. So you heard them shout go. They'll be in the switch zone. Here we go, door up. Katie Munnings goes over with the seat insert. Andreas undoes his belts. He'll climb out as quick as he can. 50 seconds from when the car goes into neutral to when the car goes into drive. You said, didn't you, keep calm and just kind of do it slowly?
Yeah, I think the slower you do it, the less likely you are to make a mistake. It's when you make a mistake and get all flustered, that's when things tend to go sideways and go wrong.
Going sideways being something we enjoy doing normally, but not in the switch zone. All plugged in and ready to go. Look, Katie Munnings with a 0.79 lead at the moment over Team Even, who are the fastest team out there. Go on, Patrick, you looking at splits?
Yeah, just looking at the splits there. I mean, Andreas, of course, was quite aggressive, but it seems to have been working very well. Maybe he was using the ruts to slow him down instead of braking conventionally. I mean, his lap time, he was a 1:58.58, which is actually the second fastest lap, I believe, so far.
So I'd say maybe 2 feet wide in waypoint 10, which is nothing, but particularly I thought the hairpin down the bottom, the right-hand one where he put the front wheels in the ruts, really worked. Yeah, rather than getting the rear caught up, looked like he carried good speed through there.
And even dropping just down there, of course he went wide, but he used the wall to slow him down and to gain the traction on the way out.
Almost like a snowbank, isn't it?
Yeah, almost like a snowbank. Using his Scandinavian experience.
Yes. So Munnings takes the car over 0.79 up. Once she gets to the first couple of flags out here, we'll get an idea where she is. Ignore that one, that's just because they've been in the switch zone. And there we are, into the lead, 0.49. So Munnings goes into the lead for Team Hansen. They took the win on the final ever Extreme E event. Still mad seeing Andreas Backerud in a Hansen race suit. Not so much Katie Munnings. Of course, she's described by the Hansen brothers as the third sibling. And another driver who I just think has taken the opportunity here with both hands. And by that, I mean Extreme E and Extreme H. 300s down now back to 2700s up. This is how close it was. If there hadn't been the penalties in the first session, all 8 cars would have been within 6 seconds. It's tidy by Munnings, and they're dead equal at the moment.
Yeah, they're dead equal there. I mean, she's doing an absolutely amazing job to keep these splits going. Just looking at her compared to Andreas, I mean, she was only about 4 tenths off in the first one, only a little bit off in the second one, so she's really pushing here and doing well. It's interesting to see how different the two drivers can have as an approach to the corners. I mean, Andreas, of course, super sideways. Katie, much more controlled, or at least I said that. I take that back.
Bit deep. So that's where Andreas, we think, gained time. It was 0.88 up. Oh, Andreas looks down. He knows it's a mistake, and when we're dealing in tenths and hundredths, it's going to be tight. 0.68 up, so 1.4 seconds lost just in that tiny little run wide. But that's where he took the risk and gained some time. Katie took it. The front didn't hook up. She'll be a bit frustrated, but she's got a few more waypoints to go to try and get it back.
No, of course, and I think it's just coming down ever so slightly now, so she just needs to get a nice little legs out of here. Oh, a little bit too sideways, a bit of an over-rotation, which is going to carry the speed up to the hill.
Here we go, 2 more corners to go. Katie's got to get these bang on. She's 0.93 down, trying to knock Team Even off that top spot. She's 0.35 gaining. She's just 0.35 back into last corners. Bang on, she might get away with it. Bit of understeer on the way in. Says 0.5 down as she comes over the line. 0.88 off, so less than a second off. They were only a second off the top time last time. Team Even remain at the top of the table. And we should see Team Hansen slot into the cumulative time. Waiting for it to come through. We haven't got the cumulative time come through yet, so we'll see in just a moment. That was the little run wide. It's tiny, isn't it? Here was Andreas' reaction. He would have known because he knows how close it is, Patrick. The smallest mistake is going to cost time. Right, that's car number 6 done. We've got 2 to come. Thank you very much to Patrick O'Donovan for joining me on commentary. Stay with us, just 2 cars to come in this one. So Clara Anderson joins me in the commentary box now. Big thank you to Patrick O'Donovan for some wonderful feedback, and we are just looking to see. Team Hansen have gone to the top of the table. So Team Hansen lost out in that last one by 0.7, but they go to the top of the table as the timing screen updates, 11:29.1. So they were in P3 after that last one, despite Team Even beating them in the second session. They beat them overall. So Team Even last time, yeah, plus 2.8. They were 1.8 further back. So it's all on for the last couple of runs, which will be Jamil Motorsport and KMS. Clara, deep breath. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Decent lap, but yeah, I will have nightmares about this Chevron.
Yeah, look, that's the way it goes. We know you guys are pushing, and we've just seen as well that this is coming down to tenths and hundredths. So yeah, you can't give it a wide berth. It's not like, I'll give it a couple of feet. It's not enough. Like, you've got every hundredth counts. You've got to take some risks, and sometimes it doesn't go your way.
Absolutely, it's all about risk versus reward, and like we see, everyone is pushing to the maximum, and yeah, super close so far.
To me, hold on just a second, I'm listening to the radio. Can we hear that? I thought we could hear radio just for a second, maybe some secret messages. To me, it seems closer between the drivers in Extreme H than it was in Extreme E. Is that because the car's a bit easier to drive, or...?
I would say that this, feeling-wise, is more of a race car with the weight distribution and the overall handling in the cornering, which makes it, well, easier for me to apply normal driving techniques, let's say. So easier, but at the same time, it also has its challenges for sure.
Right, we're getting ourselves set for this last one. Big puff of breath there from Molly as she gets herself ready for the launch. Two cars left to go here in the time trial, head-to-heads tomorrow. Time trial sessions for Extreme H. Tomorrow's head-to-head is like imagine coming down a ski jump, going through a chicane, and then doing an enormous jump side by side. That's what they'll be doing, head-to-head racing. Today is time trials, which is like we did in the first couple of seasons of Extreme E during qualifying. Off the line now, Molly Taylor and Kevin Hansen for Jamil Motorsport. They were sitting in P2 after the first session, and they were just 0.1 of a second, 0.139 off the pace of KMS. At the moment, Team Hansen are at the top. Remember, it is the morning times added to the afternoon. Sorry, we're getting messages from race control. Gaining at the moment, 500ths, and now they're into the lead already. So 1100ths up, minus 0.06. And here are the standings at the moment. Yeah, so Team Hansen leading 11:29.1 from Hodgson Baby, 0.92. There is nothing in it, and there was only a 1/10 of a second between this team and the team that currently leads KMS. But they've still got to get 2 clean runs in, Clara, and the conditions out there are getting rougher now. The track's getting a bit rutted up. Fastest last, I like. It makes it a bit harder for the quick teams. This could be really close.
Oh, absolutely. And we've had quite a lot of wind coming in the afternoon, and you can feel that it brings some sand also in some places. So it's a complete different track to this morning for sure.
Down to the hairpin at the bottom here. This is the big jump off. It seems to me to be just flat to the braking point. Is that about right?
Absolutely.
So you've got to come over the jump lit. That's tidy through the right-hander for Molly. She's plus 1.16, so they're still down, but they're catching. So if it's green and she loses a bit of time in that sector, I suspect that's where she's run slightly wide in the hairpin. So it looks like it's a good run for the Hansen squad. Remember, the gap back last time was only 0.9 of a second. So in theory, Jamil Motorsport, this is my live math, so I'm about to fall down. They've got to beat Hansen Motorsport here by 0.9, I think, on this run to beat them overall. Laura Winters behind me shaking her head. Terrible maths from all your motorsport presenters and commentators. That's fine. That's not what our job is. Plus 1.89 now. Coming into the switch zone, this is going to be nice and late. Clara, what is the key here? Because we've seen some people get big penalties, and then that's too early on the brakes and you lose time.
Exactly. It's all about the risk versus reward once again. It's getting quite slippery, so you need to be on the limit, but we have already seen penalties here, so yeah, it's not easy.
Was it you that didn't you make up like crazy time on the brakes into the switch zone?
Yeah, I had quite a nice
yeah, quite a nice. It was about 3.3 seconds. Yeah. It was epic, but that's just in one braking zone. Yeah. So the risk reward there to me is massive, but then what's the penalty? Isn't it a second per kilometre an hour? And
exactly, and the time that you are like going through this, so it can be quite a lot.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see who's willing to risk it, won't we? Kevin Hansen going to take over from Molly Taylor. Remember, they crossed the line first of all in the final round of Extreme E back last Sunday, and then they had a penalty, unfortunately, for speeding in the zone after there'd been a big crash in the first corner, so they were demoted to P2. We know they're among our fastest team. They were the championship leaders in 2024 when it came to a premature close. Molly heading into the command centre. Kevin all ready to go already. Plus 2.93. He needs to get a second, we think, in front of the Hansen squad to be able to take the lead overall. I'm just going to double check my maths again, and Clara, you can run us through these replays. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Molly did a very nice job, especially the first sector was really strong from her. So yeah, I think it will come down to the hundredths of a second for sure in the end.
So work this out, Andrew. Come on, work it out. They were 0.9 up, so no, they can be 0.9 behind, can't they? Laura Winters still shaking her head at me behind. Clara Anderson joins me in the commentary box. We hope you guys are enjoying it. It's a brand new era, Extreme H, coming to you from Qiddiya City, where they're building the F1 track behind Faisal's Finger, which is the incredible backdrop here. Look, there it is. Wheel spin away from the line. There's your positions overall on the left-hand side, with just Jamil Motorsport to finish their run and KMS still to come. So, Clara, here we go up in turn one. Through here, I've seen people using the least amount of steering possible.
Absolutely. Here you can really tell the difference of the two cars. This car is quite a lot heavier, so you need to, in my opinion, be very clean, very racy, and just keep the beam in as high as possible.
So you want to keep it as straight as possible on the exits?
In my opinion, yes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you're right. And looking at the quick times, it's everybody who's keeping the steering straight. Kevin used all the track there, got himself out to the berm on the outside. He's gained about 0.5 of a second here. I think this will be enough, because I say they were 0.9 up previously, so this would see Jamil, and now they go into the lead on the second run anyway. Look at Kevin, the expressions on his face, and he flicks it into the left-hander. This is a great run.
Absolutely, he is pushing to the limit. This will be very, very close.
So Kevin, then a little adjustment to the helmet again. Through the right-hander, this drone shot is incredible. There are the ruts, he gets a good exit here. And now down towards the jump, and then the hairpin right at the bottom. So listen, full throttle here. And then on the brakes immediately that it lands, Clara. This one's so tricky.
Absolutely. You come here with the highest speed on the track almost, and you need to get the car stopped and get a nice clean exit, just like Kevin did. So yeah, so far he's doing a great job.
Plus, minus 0.2. He's done a fantastic job in that hairpin. He's found 1.4 seconds. We saw Katie ran wide on her run, and that's going to make the difference. Timmy Hansen is in there in the command centre. He doesn't know what to do. He's the boss of Hansen Motorsport, but there he is looking at the data for his brother Kevin Hansen, who's driving for Jamil Motorsport. Big sense here from Kevin Hansen on the final lap. He takes another 10th out, so this will be enough, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes in the final 2 corners, to secure the position. Doesn't use quite the track, almost on the flag on the inside. Big, deep intake of breath here from Clara Anderson in commentary. She knows how hard he's trying. He's found more time. 3.28, runs it out over the line. Fantastic job, 5 minutes 40.8. Jamil go to the top in this one, and they go to the top overall, 11:23.982. At that time of 5:40.8, big celebration for Kevin, because that's 2.2 seconds faster than KMS went in the first run. What a great drive, Clara, that's impressive.
Fair play to Kevin, that was a hell of a lap. This will be hard for KMS.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go, aren't they? They
Absolutely.
really are.
Hello, Meg.
Ah, Molly is in the command centre. We can speak to Molly Taylor. Molly, wow.
Was my mic live just then?
Your mic's live. I don't know if we heard
Okay,
you. You're fine. Don't get any
Didn't say
fines.
anything.
This is an FIA event now, Molly. Don't get any fines. What a
Aussies don't swear.
Of course not. What a drive there by you and Kevin. He took some risks on that last lap. You brought it home beautifully as well on the first one. So you're 5.2 at that time, some 2.2 quicker than KMS went in the first session. How do you feel your chances of holding on to top spot?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tight. It's really, especially as the more cars run on the track, it's quite rutted out there, so it's easy. The lap started off well and then ran wide in one corner. You just hit the rut at the wrong time and you're out in the loose stuff. So Kev did a mega job. But yeah, we had a clean run. But yeah, it's going to be close. I think we're. Yeah, my nerves are still pretty high.
Yeah. Are you staying? Will you stay in the command centre to watch it? Is that where you'll be?
Yeah, I think so. I don't want to miss this.
All right, good luck. Let's see how you
Thanks,
get on.
guys.
Cheers, thank you. Molly Taylor, so much fun. She really is. She was telling us some brilliant stories the other day about coming across a herd of cows in her rally car. Laura Winter's heading off out to go and see what happens as we get our winners later on. I say, my name's Andrew Coley, alongside me, Clara Anderson, driver, of course, for Carl Cox Motorsport, and the most successful female driver in the World Rallycross Championship. She's very, very good indeed, as are all the females here today, Clara. It's so close.
It's very close. It's great to see. I mean, everyone is really pushing the limits, and yeah, can't wait for the last race.
Look how stoked Kevin was. It's rare to see a celebration like that from any of our drivers. So when it's like that, he put it on the line there, didn't he?
Absolutely. He knows that he did a good lap, for sure.
Okay, here we go. On the other side of the grid, KMS. But by the time they get to the first corner, I'm pretty sure they'll be in position. They position the car out of the ruts. If you look, the ruts are offset, and that's to make sure they don't get sunk into the ruts. You want the best possible launch. Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski to head around first of all. I'm sure they'll be on the radio and said to her, this is going to need to be quick. What do you want to hear, Clara, before the start? Do you want to hear that? Do you want to know the pressure's on, or do you just say, just do what you do?
I would say we are all pushing everywhere, so I mean, for sure it's nice to know-ish how much you need to put into it, but she knows she needs to push.
She knows already, she knows, and there you go, and that's why we have the drivers in it. They know already. Yokohama tyres with all the blocks on there, looking ready to rip and grip off the line. Just those few moments of calm before you get going. The final run is underway. So can KMS hold on to their top position today? Remember, this is time trial day. If they do, they'll get 10 qualifying points. The more qualifying points you get, the better your grid position in the grand final, basically the World Cup final even on Saturday. World Cup final, never commentated a World Cup final before. That'd be fun. So doesn't use all the road on the exit of turn one and is a second down at the moment, and they're going to need to find more pace than that. Now she's catching, so she's slightly over and angles the car differently. She comes over the jump. It's a heavy landing. Still closing the gap down, 0.73 back. I love the fact I'm looking at the pictures, and next to me, Clara Anderson is solidly looking at the timing screen, and that's what all the drivers do. You guys are just totally data.
Oh, for sure. I've never seen that line before, so I have to know if that's something
in
I need
turn
to
one,
do as well.
see, I love that. And so immediately as well, yeah, so with the tight line, you mean not running the car out wide?
Yes.
So they're going for less distance travelled rather than... Yeah, okay, see, Clara's already analysing it, and that's why they're the best in the world. They really are. So Arlen Kotlinski, 1.58 down at the moment. Remember, a cumulative time, the run from the morning and the afternoon. This morning, they were what was it? It was 0.139 of a second faster. So they've got to be Oh, it's a deep run. Run deep in the hairpin. So 1.94. Watch this. See if the gap goes up. Bottom right of your screen as they come to the next one. 2.5, 1.4 lost in that hairpin. It's crucial.
Absolutely. It looks like she has some understeer, but it's still close.
So now gaining on the exit. So 2.21 is the deficit at the minute. Backs it into the double apex right-hander to get a good exit. It's literally going 2/10 one way, 2/10 the other. Sometimes, Clara, it's the concertina effect of whether you're on the way into or out of the corner, isn't it?
Exactly. You need to maintain the flow through all the sectors. And yeah, let's see now on the switch-in.
Up to the switch zone. How late on the brakes? Super late. Gets the nose down. She's run a bit wide across that. Nicely done. Pointed that from the inside to the outside. Don't want any steering puts when you're on the brake that hard, because that will make the rear of the car break loose. So she's 1.97 off. So Kristoffersen has got to find 1.97. But that's on this run, isn't it? And they were 0.1 up. He's got to find the 2, basically. He's got to find those 2 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. Johan needs to push. So, yeah, this will be fun.
We know that he can.
Oh, yes.
We know that he can. 8 times World Rallycross champion up next. He's ready. They're in the sprint position and they jump into action now. Switch zone. Michaela jumps out of the car. A little shout to Johan, a bit of feedback about the conditions out there. You often hear that. What do you share with Timo when you jump in and out of the car? Much or not really?
Well, depends. Now I told him that it was the car is good, but it's a bit slippery. So less information as possible. But for sure, if you need to inform, you try to do that.
I guess there's more if the track's been watered, because then the conditions are changing much more quickly.
Exactly. You need to tell him what he needs to know to do the best job possible.
What can Johan Kristoffersen do here then? It's plus 1.97. They were fastest this morning, as I say, with a 5:43.0. But this afternoon we saw a time that was 2.2 seconds quicker. Track conditions have changed. The temperature at the time of day has changed. It's all still up for grabs. Johan will know what he's got to do. It's going to need to be a big attack from the start. Let's see if he uses the same line in turn 1 as Arlen Kotlinski as well.
Absolutely.
Without running wide on the exit, or if he uses all the road. Look at him, he's so calm. It's sickening how calm he is, because it just looks like he's literally heading down shops to pick up some groceries, but he most definitely is not. Into the left-hander then. Not one lift off the throttle through there. Ignore the first split. It'll be updated at the second flag. On already 0.49. They've taken 1.5 on the exit, and he runs wide on the exit of turn 1 as well. Now he's already within a shout of the time. 0.33. So what's he done in the first corner, Clara? He's taken 1.8 seconds from the exit of the switch to the... And they're in the lead. How?
He did quite early and big rotation, and you see how much speed he could carry in the first left-hander. But let's see, it's a long lap.
It is a long lap, and Kevin was particularly strong at the end. 1.14 up. Johan is risking it. Comes across the jump at a different angle to normal. 1.2 up. Into the left-hander, no mistakes here. 1.35 bounces off the bank on the outside line. Let's see the split as he comes up over the top. 0.84. Half a second back towards Hansen on this one. This could not be tight to 0.73. He's taking, nibbling little bits here and there. Has seen anything? Oh, Molly Taylor, she's got a heart in her mouth. There's going to be a 1/10 of a second in this one. Over the big jump. He's late on the brakes. The sump guard dug in there at the front. Into the right-hander.
Bit of understeer.
Yeah, 1.21, but has he got to the flag before he's got it turned in and therefore loses on the exit? We'll find out. Yes! Loses a second in the hairpin. Well spotted, Clara Anderson. It nose-dived in. 0.3 takes a 1/10 back off Kevin. All to play for then. KMS through the double right-hander from the drone. 0.6, he's up 0.6 of a second. Remember, they had a lead of a 1/10 of a second this morning. And then Kevin Hansen and Molly Taylor absolutely flew. 0.86 up at the minute. KMS are doing what they need to do. There's 2 corners to go. 0.5, we know Kevin was good in here. 0.3 back the other way. KMS, Kristoffersen on the throttle, 0.6. It's going a 1/10 each way into the final corner. Rotation's good, it's 0.64, 0.67. Another 300ths over the line. They've done it. Top of the table. KMS take it by the tiniest of margins. 11.23.3 compared to 11.23.9. 0.6 of a second separates it at the end of that run. What a brilliant session. What a great battle between Team KMS and Jimmy Hill Motorsport. That was fantastic. What a drive. He had to go, Clara. He really had to push.
And you saw how much he pushed. That was on the limit. Very good lap.
Impressive stuff. We know he's that good, but it's great to see how close it is. I mean, the top team separated only by 9 seconds after the 2 runs. This morning, though, it could have been 5 over the top 8. And I think that just goes to show us what we're in some great racing with Extreme H. Look at that over the crest. Full send.
Full send.
Right,
sure.
Clara, what have we picked up? What do we know? What are we going back to discuss with Timo and the engineers? Because I know you'll have seen things. Or do you want to keep it a secret?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I've seen some things.
You tell me
yeah.
when we go off air, you tell me, and I
Yes.
promise I won't say anything until you finish tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Okay, Saturday.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it's a deal. It's
Then
a
we'll
deal.
have a debrief.
Yeah, I'll WhatsApp you after, it's fine. So an amazing run from KMS, to be fair. It really, really was. They were up against it there. They were 2 seconds back at the end of the first lap, and we knew that the second lap was brilliant by both drivers. And to be fair, both laps, both drivers, maximum attack there. That's really, really impressive. And by the Hansen squad too. But 11.23.3 to 11.23.9, 6/10 of a second gives Team KMS the first medal, I guess, in this 3-day multidiscipline competition. Confirmation of the results. KMS at the top of the table, 11.23.3, 0.59 back to Jamil Motorsport, Taylor and Hansen. 5.79 Team Hansen, plus 6.7 for Team Even, plus 8.7 for Howman and GZ. JBX, Carl Cox Motorsport, plus 10 on that one, plus 13 for Zeroid, and plus a minute for Stard. Remember, there are penalties and some issues in there for the lower cars on the running order as well. The bottom 3 have all had penalties, so I think it's going to be very, very close over the next couple of days. And remember, all these positions give you points. So KMS get 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 down to Stard at the bottom. We add up all the points after tomorrow's head-to-head racing. After the qualifying on Saturday morning, yeah, fist pump. And a big smile from Johan. He knows he's had to go there. That's a great drive by both these two, and it's nice to see some emotion because he had to go.
Exactly. You know, when Johan smiles, you know, he thinks that he does a good job.
He loves the fight, doesn't he? He loves the fight. Right, Laura Winter is down there with our winners by literally 0.6 of a second. There's a big smile on Christopherson's face, and that tells me that that was a big fight and he enjoyed it.
Well, congratulations to Christopherson Motorsport. Brilliant stuff. Ali Russell, Managing Director of Extreme H, on our first ever day of the new World Cup format, here to present the medals. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations, guys. Thank you.
Ali, thank you so much. I'm going to dive in and grab an interview. Michaela, coming to you first. You had to get out there and get that time on the board. Talk me through the run and how much it's changed through the day as well.
Yeah, track has changed a little bit, so I try to adapt to that. But I mean, just with one lap, you head out there and you don't know what has changed, so you just have to, try your best. And I was pushing and a few mistakes on some points, but yeah, I mean, I feel happy with my run. And handing over to Johan.
Johan, quite the run. You saw what Kevin had done just before as well. What's going through your mind then when you know you're getting into the switch to take over and try and make up that deficit?
Yeah, I mean, I knew, I spoke to Kevin over lunch and he had a great run in the first one as well, but there was only a 10th in between us or so, so I knew that it's going to be tight, and I knew that Kevin was very hungry for revenge from that first run, and he did a very, very good run. It was also a lot faster than my run now in the end, so a bit of a scrappy run for me. I knew I had to put in a good one, had a few bumps which was not turning my way, and yeah, some things on the dash which you know, got a little bit distracted, but now overall very, very good. Super happy to grab some points today and yeah, continue the weekend.
It was a thriller. The time was ebbing and flowing the whole way. Michaela, head-to-head tomorrow then. You go in there with maximum World Cup qualifying points so far. What's the approach for day 2?
Well, I mean, in the end, it's really about getting as much points as you can. So we're happy about this, but now we turn the focus for tomorrow.
Thank you both so much. Well done today. We'll see you tomorrow. Good luck for them. Thanks.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at the standings then at the end of day 1. Our time trial down at the bottom of the screen actually is the head-to-head course for tomorrow, so don't miss that. 10 World Cup qualifying points for KMS, winning the session by just 6/10 of a second. We then got Jamil Motorsport on 9, Hansen on 8. I'm not quite sure what's going on in the middle of the points table there, so we'll get that investigated for you. I thought it was all the way down to 5, 4, 3, and Clara Anderson's nodding next to me. Is that what you thought too, Clara?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll figure it out tomorrow. Clara, you guys down in P7, I know that's not where you want to be. What's the plan for tomorrow? We can see the course in front of us here.
Yeah, plan for tomorrow, don't hit the chevron, and we should be pretty good, so yeah, that's the plan.
That's fair. So there is a chevron tomorrow, isn't there, on the run down to the face of the jump?
There are even 2.
2, okay, so double the chances to hit it. Okay. Clara Anderson will not hit the chevron tomorrow, she says. We'll see how they get on. Christopherson's pleased with that. I remember seeing him in the fight with Ekstrom. It might have been Hollius, and even when he lost, there was a big smile on both their faces. You all you love a big battle, don't you? All of you.
You love the thrill where you know that you need to push.
Yeah.
And when you get it your way, it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? When the rhythm comes and everything sits well for you. So KMS roll back to the paddock. It is advantage to them. In the middle of your screen, you can see the run down from top right. So middle bottom, I suppose, down across the big jump in the middle. There'll be a little chicane on that as well. That is the head-to-head course. There'll be a series of knockout qualifiers in the morning, and then we'll be going to semi-finals and the finals. And then, of course, don't miss Saturday as well, because that will be 2 rounds of qualifying races followed by the World Cup final. So great stuff for qualifying. That was a flag there that wasn't quite down. Unfortunately, there was a chevron touch later on, but Clara Anderson, I'm looking forward to seeing you fight back tomorrow, mate.
Oh, yes. The lap was still pretty good looking at the times now. So, yeah, tomorrow we go. Flat out.
Fantastic. Clara, thank you so much for joining us in commentary, and to Patrick O'Donoghue as well, Laura Winter earlier on in the session. Fantastic stuff. I think it's very, very clear indeed that the Extreme H car has got a bit of a bigger window than the Extreme E car. That means the teams are able to push a bit harder. Look at that, sideways over the jumps. The tiniest of mistakes are costing you dear. It's down to tenths of a second. Don't miss the rest of the weekend for the FIA Extreme H World Cup.
In effect,